Okay, so um, my first question is pretty simple one. Just where in Nicaragua did you go? When did you go? And what was the basic goal when you went there?
So when I went to Nicaragua, it was last December, so that would be November, December of 2014. Um, and I went along with Dartmouth Lacrosse, and we went down to the Messiah area and built a kitchen for a school.
Okay. Before traveling to Nicaragua, did you know much about the country or the area you were going to travel to?
Um, I originally heard about the trip and was super interested. Of course, at that point I had never researched Nicaragua. I had heard about it in passing, of course. Just I knew it existed and where it was on a map. But as I heard about the trip, I started doing more research, looked into the country more, and so uh, going into before landing, I knew more about the country. But before I had heard about the trip, no, not really.
Okay. And then had you ever done a service learning trip or some kind of a service trip out of the country before going?
I had not.
Okay. And do you think the fact that you didn't know very much about the country and the fact that you didn't go on a service trip before, do you think that took away or added to your experience when you went?
Hmm. At some point it was all very new to me. I wasn't sure how to act. I wasn't sure really um, what to do. It was my first time really in a different kind of culture. I had been abroad to England before, but that doesn't really compare to going to rural Nicaragua. And so um, at, at at some level it was tough because I'd never been on a trip before, but then on another it was very cool, very exciting, to kind of step into this new environment, this new kind of situation, and see what it was all about and really get my hands dirty. So
Great, great. Um, so for my Latin American Caribbean Studies class, some of my class members are going to Nicaragua through Bridges to Community, which is actually the same organization that helped create your trip. And one of the things they emphasize is kind of that it's bridges to community, meaning they're trying to make a connection between the group that goes and the actual community that helps. So when you went on the trip, did you feel that you that you were working with the Nicaraguans rather than just building something for them and kind of leaving?
most certainly. We went down and we knew what we were going to build, and the trip, some people on our trip had gone before to other work sites and they had built homes. But what was really special about our trip is we went to go build a kitchen for a school, so it was affecting the whole community. And something that they really had never seen before was just such the giant outpouring of support and help that came from the community. And so we had people coming out of the woodwork to help us, and we had old ladies picking up shovels, mixing concrete, and men coming for like 4 hours at a time out of their day to help like take down trees and whatnot. And it was really cool interacting with the community, seeing how they interacted with each other and then how they viewed us. And so it was all very interesting.
Great. And so I guess one question is regarding your interaction was, did you ever feel any negativity towards them because it felt like did any of them feel like you were helping them out but in a somewhat demeaning way, like that you were looking down upon them, or do you felt it was all positive interactions?
So one of the things that they just kept asking us was like, why are you doing this? Why are you coming down? And I mean, they understood that we came from Dartmouth, that we came from a very privileged background here in Hanover, and they kept asking us, why are you doing this? And we told them it's because we care. We care about you guys, and we want to help. And so it wasn't that they saw us, you know, paternalistically, or that we were trying to help them because we felt we were better than them, but they were just legitimately curious and, you know, slightly confused, but at the end of the day very appreciative that we were coming down to help them build their school and to help make their community better.
Awesome. So have you kept in, like, did you get any phone numbers or emails, or have you kept in touch with any of the Nicaraguans, or has anyone from the lacrosse team who went with you done that you know of?
Not directly with any of the people in the community. I know our site coordinator, Bonnie, one of the guys that went on the trip, is very close family friends with her, and so of course they've kept in touch. But the trip that I went on, they had another go around, and they went in September, and they saw a lot of the same people, a lot of the same construction workers, a lot of the community members come out, and it was one of the coolest moments really for me was actually this past September. So when I went down in December last year, the first day we were there, I probably spent about 8 hours working on removing a tree stump. And apparently I just kept at it and wouldn't give up on this tree stump. And the guys, some of the locals were trying to like pull me off, be like, hey man, take a break, like get some water, and whatnot. And it was in a very cool moment. We were removing the last of the tree stump after somebody brought a chainsaw, and they said, you know, you get to take the last piece out of here. Yeah. And so, but the trip went down in September to go build a house in the same community, and some of the community members, well, there was another tree in the lot that we had to clear, and they asked, you know, where's the redhead? Where is he? He needs to come chop down the tree. So that was kind of a cool moment to realize that you know they remembered me, and that I had made a positive influence. Yeah.
So, kind of going off that note, do you feel that they had an impact on you, the Nicaraguans you met?
Like, most certainly. I mean, especially, of course, this was my first trip really to see anything like Nicaragua and the different kind of like the different socioeconomic backgrounds, of course, and just how different life is and how different the culture is. So in that regard, it was eye-opening. It really helps to put in perspective, you know, your situation, your hardships, as compared to theirs. And so, you know, just staying humble. But really one of the things it taught me was that, you know, I can't view myself as better than any person. And on that service trip, I realized working with these people that, you know, they weren't somebody on a television ad that you see asking, you see children emaciated and some actor behind them asking to send 25 cents a day. These are very real people with real lives and real ambitions, and so it's not, we can't go down to Nicaragua feeling like we have to help them because, you know, they need help per se, or that they can't do it themselves, but rather that, you know, these are very real people who deserve an extra hand, an extra leg up. And so if it's me that's able to do that going down there, or others, that's what matters.
Great, yeah. And then just kind of a few last questions. One is just, do you think, in our class we've talked a little bit about how you go in the community and you build, say, a house or a kitchen, and then you kind of like leave and you just hope that they keep it up. But but at the same time, you actually had like an emotional connection to them. So do you feel that you had like made a lasting impact? One that's just not, they're going to look at the kitchen and say like, oh yeah, someone built that a few years ago, but they'll actually remember that group from Dartmouth. Do you feel you guys had that kind of an impact?
I would say so. I would say, just the amount of community members that came out to help, that were asking us questions, that were trying to, interact with us and talk to us and see, why we were down here and how we were feeling and how our day was going. It was a very real connection that we made with them, a very honest one. And so in that way, I feel like I did make a real connection. I mean, of course, my little anecdote.
Yeah, exactly.
Shows that too.
Yeah. And then I guess just my last question is, would you consider, after your experience, would you consider doing this again?
Most certainly. Most certainly. I wasn't able to go on the past trip in September because of logistics and, money things, but the trip was amazing, and I wouldn't hesitate to do it again.
Great. Thank you so much for doing this interview.
Of course.